Greetings, friends. No interview today, just me. Apologies about that. Apologies for that. Also, apologies for my disheveled appearance and for the messy state of my room. Moved into a new house. I've got a lot of work that I'm doing, and it just takes a lot of time, as anybody knows, if you move into a new place. So I apologize for that. I usually try to get myself into a better physical appearance and get my space into a better condition. But there's something that I just feel really compelled to put out there today, that's all. So I'm rolling with it. Trust in the instincts. And it's a simple message. So over the past couple of weeks, I have very much drifted into old patterns. And my natural pattern is to try to be as productive as possible every day, and try to move towards every one of my goals at least one step every day. That's just how I'm wired. I'm not sharing this to talk about myself. I'm sharing this because I think it will help be an entryway into understanding the significance of what I am about to say. And so those are my life patterns. That's just what I do. Like if you were to throw me in the woods, I would pretty soon try to figure out something productive that I could do in the woods, and assuming that basically if all of my survival needs were met, it would still be in my instinct to look around and think, all right, what can I do productive, and then to come up with some kind of structured plan to make those things happen, right? Now there's nothing wrong with that. That's how I was built. But over the last couple of weeks, I have done all of that without the cornerstone piece. I've just forgot to ground every day in spiritual practices, consciousness practices, basically prayer, meditation, some mantras, whatever it is that you do. This morning, after a couple weeks of living that way, of kind of going back on my autopilot, which is to just get up, get cracking, hit the gym, just get work and get things done. But it felt so empty. That's the big thing that I want to get across. Those kind of getting things done in a material sense, like working towards goals, it to me, it just, at this point in my life, it feels so empty without the spiritual practices, right? Because that's what it's all about, to remind myself. Because I think all of those things are just tools to enhancing my character, as a human being. Right? That's what it's all about. It's really all about achieving some kind of personal level of integrity in the effort to become one with the mind of God, right? They're not ends in themselves. They're means to an end. And when I allow myself to forget that and to fall back into these patterns of productivity for the sake of productivity, without remembering to ground myself in the true why, which for me is always the spiritual endeavor, right? Those things are means to an end, not ends into themselves. And when I pursue them as ends in themselves, it universally ends up feeling very empty and pointless. And so I realized that last night, actually, as I was going to bed, I was thinking, I've been feeling so disconnected lately and so purposeless. Like I'm getting a lot done, but I really don't care, And so I realized that last night. And so this morning I got up early and I have just been meditating, praying, and just reading a lot of spiritual texts, spiritual studies. And man, it has grounded me and brought me back to what it's all about. And as a side note, I have never been one who cared for incense. I don't like inhaling any kind of smoke in my lungs of any form. It bothers me. So I never liked incense. But man, you ever light up some frankincense while you're meditating or praying? I dig it, man. I dig it. But anyway, that's a side note. My primary point, I just wanted to give a fresh reminder out there, because I think it's easy to get to the point where you feel kind of lost and disconnected, and then you start to feel a little bit of hopelessness. Just hopelessness in the sense that's like, what is this all about? Who cares? I don't yeah, I have goals to achieve certain things, but those goals in themselves, so what? And this morning has been fantastic to ground myself back into the pursuit of joining the mind of God, of prayer and meditation and contemplation. For me, just reading spiritual topics and just sitting there and really thinking about them, that act in itself seems to elevate my mind, my consciousness, my mind, and put me in a better place. Which is interesting because it feels like it lifts me up while also grounding me back to a connection with a foundation, which I wonder if that means that the foundation is up above. Maybe I haven't even reached the foundation yet. I'm still striving for the foundation. I don't know. But this is a short life, and we need to maximize the time here and to do as well as we can, in my personal humble opinion, do as much as we can to keep ourselves grounded in what matters, which is the truth. Truth with a capital T, which is the all, which is God, which is spirit, which is consciousness, on different terms for these things, but different terms for the one thing. But anyway, that's all. Just a friendly reminder to everybody. I think just about everybody who follows this channel is into some kind of consciousness or spiritual practice. And it can be easy to get away from that and kind of drift away. So I just wanted to give a friendly reminder because this morning has brought me out of a very, I don't want to be melodramatic, but a demoralizing time. Has been a demoralized 2 weeks because you get so much done and you don't care because it means nothing. That's when you got to get back into touch with why you're doing this and what the real goal is. You remember just the beauty of this world and that these things around us, it's illusions, man. It's illusion. No. I want to get away from that. I used to say that metaphorically, but I want to be more responsible with my wording because I don't think it's an illusion. That's where I separate from a lot of people in this space. I think our material world is also a beautiful place, but when you think that's all that it is, the material trappings around us, the material goals, it feels so shallow. It feels so silly. It's like, how many times can you get laid before you realize that getting laid isn't going to make you happy? How many things can you buy before you realize that things that you can't buy aren't going to make you happy? But anyway, yeah, I'm kind of drifting. I apologize for that. I just wanted to put that out there and remind everybody. If you're getting caught back up and you are feeling yourself just kind of living kind of an empty life, maybe it's because you've been forgetting to do your grounding foundational spiritual practices. And if you're somebody who has never given it a whirl before, all I would suggest as somebody who spent the vast majority of his life as an atheist to an agnostic, and an agnostic in the sense that I believed, maybe there is a God, but God doesn't care about me and I don't care about him. Basically, I spent the vast majority of my life not doing any of this kind of stuff. And I can tell you, if you go at it earnestly, I think you might really be surprised at the grounding and the peace that it can give your life. Not peace in a vapid sense. I'm not in that school of all is love, and I'm actually very opposed to that school because I think it's misleading. But still, just being plugged into a higher consciousness, a higher mind, it changes everything. It really does. And so if you're somebody who has never even tried those things before and you're feeling a little empty and disappointed and lost, give it a whirl, man. Look up some simple practice that resonates with you, whether that be the Ganesh mantra, the Jesus prayer, anything, hermetic practices, whatever it is that speaks to you. Just give it a whirl, and I think you may find that you begin on a journey towards a little grounding and a little satisfaction in this life. And so that's it. Thank you very much, my friends. I hope you're all having great days, and I hope you remember to ground yourselves in what is truly and fundamentally important. So that's it. Peace out, my friends.